Okay, we are on question number 4 with Valerie Harjo at Guardian Lending. Valerie, how does one navigate the news and headlines? I feel frozen and confused. Well, absolutely. I mean, those news and headlines, and have you noticed they change from week to week, day to day? It's up, it's down. It would make somebody feel frozen. It would make them feel confused. But in the world of lending, uh, how would you answer this question?
Well, a quick Google search of what are mortgage rates doing can really throw any of us off, right? I mean, it is, if you're the average person and you're like, hey, my Uncle Billy said rates are plummeting. Are they? What does plummeting mean? Well, it's kind of like it's kind of funny, not funny, because it's hard to navigate. It is confusing. And it's sort of like when things go up in price, think about anything you purchase. Rarely do you get like this consumer item has now gone up. You just go to the grocery store and you see, or shopping, and you see that this is a higher priced item. But when things come down, you think of some of the commercials out there where like the price drops, and it's an incentive to get people to purchase. Well, this is what I feel like the headlines. I mean, remember, headlines are advertising, clickbait to go onto that article, to go to that news source. And that the executives are using a headline to get you to do that. It does not necessarily mean reality. And we see in the mortgage industry, we get emails from our lending sources daily that tell us what rates are doing. So I don't even have to go to the headlines. I will get an email that will tell me interest rates are increasing or decreasing. They will usually pause the rates and while they do what they call as a reprice. So when I see something come in that says repricing for the worse or repricing for the better without even going to a headline or a news source, I know that something happened in the market that has changed that interest rate. And in a volatile market like we've had in the last couple of years, we can get up to 3 to 4. I've even seen maybe up to 5 changes in price. Why is that? And how do we keep up? And that's the confusing part, because if the tag is plummeting or soaring, that brings out a very emotional and visceral, reaction in all of us. And if you're in the home buying process, you can be either excited because they're plummeting, or you could be terrified because they're soaring. And that might have been an eighth of a point change from the morning. So, it's sort of like, just like everything that we get in social media and on the news, is really just take it with a grain of salt. That again takes you back to your loan officer and really, really know what are rates doing. Make sure. Now, I'm an over communicator. I like to educate my buyers on what does this mean? How do we keep track on, do I have to check the rates every day? Well, that's what my job is. And so I'm going to maybe see a trend, or I'm going to see something that is like leading in that direction. And heading into that, it's like whether we lock in an interest rate, whether we're like predicting an interest rate, what are rates doing next week, for example. It's really, really understanding to get rid of kind of the noise. Interest rates have had a predictable movement kind of day to day. They are tied to what's going on in the economy. So if you understand that the mortgage rates are going to move in relationship to economic data, that takes out some of this advertising buzzwords, and really understand like, okay, this economic report's coming out today, or the Fed chairman is meeting tomorrow. Those are the things that you're going to want to watch as far as how are rates going to respond to that. So really, I think it's just, and if you have any questions, call your loan officer. This is what we do all day long. This is our job.
Yeah.
So if you're concerned or you have a question, shoot us an email, shoot us a text. And I never am unhappy when someone says, hey, I just heard rates dropped or rates went up. What does that mean? That's what I'm here
They're
to do.
scared.
That's my
Yeah.
job, is to really help you. So, but just to kind of like, if you Google it, you can kind of laugh, because there'll be like conflicting articles, like, depending on what the news source is. And I definitely recommend I love your family, everyone. I love your moms and dads and brothers and sisters and grandmas and grandpas and all the people who love and support you. That is not a reliable source of data unless they're in the financial world. You know, they're there to love and help you and support you, but really you want to work with your professional. And I've spent my 30 years as being a professional in this industry and staying current and knowledgeable. So if you reach out to me, you know, I can give you the real nuts and bolts of what I think is going on or what we're seeing in the market or what really happened on that rate change. And that's going to help you have less anxiety as you move through this mortgage buying, you know, house buying process.
Well, I mean, so when you see the headlines, they have a vested interest in your eyes getting on what they're writing. So unfortunately, it can spark that fear in people and who are already afraid to begin with. You know, they're doing something completely out of their comfort zone, buying or selling a piece of property, and so they're already scared and on high alert, and then they see this. So it's unfortunate. It is what it is. It's not going to change. The moral of the story is keep in close contact with the people that have the true facts, like Dragnet, right? Just the facts, ma'am. Although I heard that
Right.
wasn't really what was said, but I like it. Thank you, Val.
Yeah.